The day my husband died, I was in the morning hall cracking melon seeds and counting banknotes, all of the capital. Said I was the most pitiful woman in the world, only I knew. This was the windfall of a lifetime, one I'd won without lifting a finger. My husband's heart had always belonged to my elder sister. Even on his deathbed, he begged me to bury him beside her grave, and told me not to marry him again in the next life. That made me laugh. Why on earth wouldn't I? My in-laws were an imperial princess and a duke. They doted on me as if I were their own daughter. Whenever novelties arrived from the palace, my mother-in-law always let me pick first. The son I bore was a prodigy, first in both civil and military examinations, and an undefeated general on the battlefield. He single-handedly turned the duke's title into a hereditary one passed down in perpetuity. When he grew up, he even found me a live-in husband to keep me company. My worthless husband kept his heart for his moonlight fantasy, so the inner quarters were clean, not so much as a chamber attendant. I had nothing to do but lie back and enjoy life, without a single vexing thing to worry about. Who wouldn't grab a fortune like that? So when I was reborn, the moment I heard the imperial princess ask with a smile whether I was spoken for, I answered on the spot with a demure little blush. No. Why trap someone else? Why trap yourself? I felt not the slightest guilt toward Lu Junran. I felt only longing for the happy days that marriage would bring. The imperial princess clasped my hand with a cheerful squeeze. My boy has always been cold and indifferent. These days, he won't eat or drink a thing. He claims the legitimate daughter of the Shi family of Hunan came and knelt before him to ask this palace to make the match. All these years, this is the very first time he has ever come before me and said he'd set his sights on a girl. And he really does have good taste. You, my dear, have a full and radiant brow. You look every bit the bearing of one who brings wealth and fortune to her husband. I bowed my head modestly and suppressed the glee surging inside me. Well, this one really isn't my fault. Blame Lu Junran for blurting out the wrong name. My sister Siwanyu was born of a concubine. The true legitimate daughter of the Z household, from beginning to end, has always been me and me alone. The imperial princess slipped the golden bracelet off her own wrist, helped me put it on with her own hands, and specially ordered the grandest carriage to take me home. She warmly pressed my hand in hers. I am close friends with your mother. As it happens, I have some free time today, so I'll pop over for a chat. And we can casually discuss the matter of the engagement. Rest easy. Whatever your household asks for, this palace will meet it entirely. My eyes went misty, though they couldn't quite hide the gleam of secret delight beneath, full of tender feeling. I thought, everyone said the imperial princess was terribly difficult to please. In my first life, before I was matched with Lu Junran, I was frightened to death of her. It was only after I married in that I understood. This mother-in-law was absolutely wonderful. She didn't wash early in the morning. No morning greetings required at all. She was particular about her food, so she had her own private kitchen in the inner court, and never dined at the same table as her juniors, which saved me from all that pouring tea and serving. She loved bright colors, always chasing the latest fashions. Whatever was newest and finest in the city markets, she had to be first to get it. Then she'd tire of it immediately, and have maidservants carry it over to my room by the basketful. I accepted it all. I was poor and I knew it. If I liked it, I took it. She'd tease me on one hand about coming from some backwater, where I'd never laid eyes on gold and silver. Then on the other hand, produce her keys and open her treasury for me, letting me pick whatever I pleased. Every time I dropped to my knees, kowtowing and weeping with gratitude, every bit of it was utterly sincere. From the bottom of my heart, mother, my dearest mother. How on earth did we waste so many years apart? When I was close to giving birth, my sister paid a visit. And that was when I learned the person in Lu Junran's heart was never me. The shock that hit me was so sharp I could barely function. When the imperial princess found out, she flew into a rage. She had my sister pinned down in the open courtyard and ordered the servants to beat her to death with canes. Lu Junran was devastated, defied his mother for the first time, and sheltering the imperial princess's orders, gathered my half-beaten, barely breathing sister in his arms and ran. The imperial princess felt both pity and remorse toward me. Once the baby came, she took every single chore onto herself. She even summoned an opera troupe all the way from Jiangnan and installed them in my courtyard for my entertainment. She wiped her own tears and warned me over and over, terrified I might have thoughts of giving up on life. The confinement period must be spent joyfully. You absolutely must not give up. And fearing Lu Junran might do something reckless that would cause me pain, she simply had my sister and her lover exiled to the southern frontier, ordering him to take my sister and never set foot in the city again for the rest of their lives. Lu Junran appealed before court officials, crying injustice. She merely replied coldly, "This palace is simply biased toward her own people. What can any of you do about it?" The day he abandoned me, I sobbed until my throat was raw. I was genuinely heartbroken, far more than I had been when he died, when I had wailed just as hard. When the carriage arrived at my home, I helped the imperial princess down to the ground, only to find another carriage waiting outside the main gate, a carriage just as grand as ours. The coachman came over and kowtowed to the imperial princess. She laughed and squeezed my hand. I didn't think he'd be this impatient. He's actually got here ahead of us. A faint unease stirred in my chest. In my first life, at this exact moment, Lu Junran had never once visited my home. Please, let there be no complications. But worry draws the very thing you fear. Heaven really couldn't stand the sight of me living well. Sure enough, in the reception hall, Lu Junran was already seated with my parents drinking tea. My sister stood beside Lu Junran. The two of them pressed very close together. My sister was performing her fragile, boneless act, full of allure. Lu Junran's ears had gone red. The imperial princess caught sight of this scene, and her face instantly darkened. Lu Junran saw us enter, and led my sister over to pay respects to the imperial princess. Moving toward my side, he shoved aside the arm I was using to support the imperial princess, turned to my sister and said, "Wanyu, you come and help my mother inside." When my sister turned to face the imperial princess, Her smile was noticeably more proper and restrained. But before she could make a move, the Imperial Princess said coldly, "Never mind. This palace can manage perfectly well on her own. I haven't yet fallen to the point of needing someone to hold me up." When no one was looking, Lu Jun ran, grabbed my wrist hard and hissed through his teeth, "See you, Hua! Do you have no shame barging in here like this?" "I never wanted you. The one I asked for was your elder sister. If you dare interfere in this, just you wait and see what I do to you." He glared at me threateningly, then turned toward my elder sister with that same look of deep devotion. "Shall we go?" Watching the two of them walk side by side, a perfectly matched golden pair, I felt not a single flicker of heartbreak. Whatever grief I had ever felt for Lu Junran had been left behind in the pages of my first life. After he shaved his head, I spent 60 full years in carefree, unrestrained living. I am now a person who has lived nearly 100 years altogether. How could I possibly still be heartbroken? So what if I have no shame? I never wanted to marry him anyway. I wanted to marry his mother. Besides, the son the two of us had together was extraordinarily brilliant. A peerless genius, they called him, who never needed me to worry about him from the day he was born. When he came of age, he was not only the youngest top scholar of his time, but snatched the top military title as well. He led armies to battle and came back every time with the nickname, the Undefeated Commander. Every servant in the Lu household praised him as worthy of his grandfather's bearing. He single-handedly transformed the Lu household's title and made it hereditary for generations to come. Carrying the shame of what his father had done, he was brazen enough to find me a husband to marry into our home and keep me company into old age. With a mother-in-law like that, and a son like that, it was well worth holding my nose and accepting this fool Lu Junran. Accept him I would. My sister kowtowed before the Imperial Princess in apology. This humble girl on the way home was suddenly accosted by a ruffian and accidentally fell into the water. Fortunately, young Master Lu Junran came to my rescue. I rolled my eyes enormously on the inside. The Imperial Princess replied coolly, "This palace was fully informed of Junran pulling someone out of the water yesterday. The girl he pulled out claimed to be the legitimate daughter of the Z household. How could that possibly be you?" My sister's face went white. Lu Junran looked over in bewilderment. "But Wan Yu is the legitimate daughter of the Z family." My father stepped forward to clarify. "Wan Yu was born of a concubine in the inner quarters. She is a daughter of secondary birth." Lu Junran stood there stupefied. My sister stumbled over her words and couldn't get anything out. Her eyes were filling with red. The Imperial Princess had seen every manner of inner court intrigue. She saw through my sister's scheming in an instant. "Can't say it, can you?" She fixed her gaze on Junran. "Foolish boy. After all this time untouched by worldly matters, you managed to set your heart on this dim-witted, vicious creature." Her tone turned ice cold. My sister immediately dropped to her knees, pleading tearfully, "Your Highness, why treat this humble girl so?" This humble girl's only fault is being of too low a birth. She feared the noble young master would despise her. Lu Junran's heart ached terribly. He grabbed my sister's arm to pull her to her feet, then turned on me furiously. "Could it be? You must have stirred things up with what you whispered in her ear, whether Wan Yu is legitimate or secondary. I don't care in the slightest. Did you not say yourself that a girl's virtue and character matter most? Our household is no impoverished backwater. We do not belittle a fine girl on account of her birth." "Correct, and those words I did say. But the girl beside you is truly not a fine young woman. Nor is anyone belittling her. On the contrary, it is she who has been scheming against her own younger sister. She was accosted by a villain, fell into the water, and you went in and saved her. The two of you inevitably had some contact skin to skin. Yesterday you had gone out with your superior to investigate a case, dressed plainly and simply, wearing the coarse cloth of an ordinary commoner. You clearly did not look like a young man of standing. She feared you were too young. So she called herself the legitimate daughter of the Z family, and fastened that identity onto her younger sister's head. She could perfectly well have invented any name for herself, letting the whole thing blow over cleanly. Yet she chose to impersonate her younger sister, and she dares claim she harbored no malicious intent. Lord C holds a third-rank position, a man of name and standing. If the one who pulled her out yesterday had not been you, but some truly nameless pauper, harboring greed and ill intentions, once the Z household raised a cry and a ruckus. Her younger sister Yuhua, would she have had any road left to walk but death? My parents standing nearby had gone completely ashen. My mother in particular, the look she fixed on Z Wanyu, was one of a woman who could have swallowed her whole. Z Wanyu knelt and kowtowed, thud after thud, until blood ran freely. This humble girl harbored no such intent. Mother, this humble girl truly harbored no such intent. If this humble girl had truly held such a vicious plan, then once that person arrived at our home, could he not have changed his account himself? My mother gritted her teeth. A mere commoner, would he dare enter the inner quarters to see the young mistress? Even if the matter of the mistaken identity did come to light, the girl's reputation would be ruined for life. Even if that person came forward to correct it, people would only assume the Z household had pressured him into changing his story. Yesterday when you came home, why did you say nothing of this filthy mess? If today young Master Lu had not come to our door to propose, and you learned of young Master Lu's illustrious name, what exactly were you planning to do next? Mother, heedless of the elders present, grabbed elder sister by her tangled hair, and delivered 2 sharp slaps across her face without mercy. She is my one and only true daughter. How dare you scheme against her like this? You were born of the side chamber, yes. But these years of food, clothing, shelter, and schooling under the finest tutors, every bit of it was given to you as if you were a legitimate daughter. When it came to your marriage, I even negotiated with your father to have you registered under my name, given a proper status, something respectable. And this is how you repay me? Ji Wanyu wept heartbreakingly, crying out between sobs, "Don't, please. Please don't." Lu Junran shoved my mother hard away. I rushed over and steadied her as she staggered. The imperial princess was seething. "Now that you've seen the black rot in that girl's heart, you still intend to marry her?" Lu Junran said without hesitation. "My son loves her. No matter what she becomes, even if everything mother says is the truth, I will still marry her." His gaze drifted toward me. The eye contact flickered for just an instant, then turned away stiffly. As for Zi Yuhua, a girl who plays no part is simply a girl who plays no part. No matter how fine she is, no matter how high her birth, I will not keep her. Lu Junran's words were vicious. He ground me down to worthless dust. The imperial princess looked at my face, drained white, and my trembling frame, and turned a furious stare on Lu Junran. "You intend to take Zi Wanyu? You're dreaming in broad daylight. A girl of such scheming and hidden malice, even to take her as a concubine, would be a stain on the name of the Duke's household." The imperial princess walked toward me, drew me into her arms, her remorse and tenderness spilling out. "Yuhua, don't you listen to a word of my boy's nonsense. You are a truly wonderful girl. This palace is very fond of you. Don't you grieve over this. Even if our Duke's household doesn't deserve this fortune, even if you cannot be my daughter-in-law, you can still be my adopted daughter. Do you think wealth, splendor, and connections will be beyond your reach? This palace will personally find you a wonderful match. My nephew, Lord Chu Jun, he has not yet taken a wife either." Lu Junran abruptly called out to stop her. "Are you out of your mind? What makes her fit to be the nation's consort? I say she'll do. Then she'll do. Ridiculous. You want that vixen by your side, yet you still concern yourself with who Yuhua marries? What is that to you? If you ask me, the one who's out of his mind is you." Lu Junran's face went red. He had nothing to say. My eyes suddenly lit up. The grievances the Grand Princess had spoken of. I did feel some sympathy, because I just sharply realized that Lu Junran had also lived a past life. The comfortable days I'd hoped for, similar to my previous life, were clearly not happening. Alas, I truly couldn't bear to give them up. My brilliantly gifted child. Who knows if we'd even meet again in this lifetime. I'd still wanted to use his affairs as leverage, to judge his success by my son's fortune and glory. Still, becoming the Crown Prince's consort was an auspicious thing too. No complaints at all. I was delighted. I sank into a daydream of even greater splendor ahead, and let slip a smile I hadn't meant to show. Lu Junran's expression darkened and sank like a stone, and he unleashed a torrent of abuse at me without restraint. "What are you smiling at? Good heavens, you actually dare to dream of sitting in the dragon throne? Xie Yuhua, you fickle, inconstant girl. Strip you bare and there's barely a few tails to you. And you dare to dream such wild dreams?" He fell silent. Since there were certainly people inside who would deal with him, the Grand Princess slapped him across the face, and then gave him a thorough tongue lashing. When the guards came to drag him away, he was beside himself with rage, intending to take the betrothal gifts he'd brought to propose. Back with him as he refused to back down. Elder sister wept bitterly beside him. An old family servant suddenly burst in from outside, kowtowing and reporting that the whole neighborhood was spreading the word that the second daughter of our household had fallen into the water and been pulled out by a commoner who had smiled at her. Several suitors had come calling at our door. Our household was being haughty about it, since we were officials who wouldn't deign to marry down, and now we were apparently planning to wriggle out of the obligation altogether. Elder sister's eyes rolled back, and she fainted dead away. Mother and father also slumped back in their chairs, scared out of their wits. Only Lu Junran and I met each other's dazed eyes, and in each other's gaze we both saw the shock of recognizing a script the complete opposite of our previous lives. In the past life, the one spreading rumors was Elder Sister and the top scholar He Zhao. Not me and some commoner. The one who had pulled Elder Sister out of the water before was not Lu Junrao. It was the top scholar He Zhao. He Zhao was learned and accomplished, strikingly handsome, as though painted by the hand of a master. His portrait collections were passed around constantly, and noble ladies would secretly pay for copies. Elder Sister had not escaped He Zhao's pull either, and naturally everyone harbored a little infatuation, myself included. I bought one too. After Sister was pulled from the water by He Zhao, she immediately revealed herself. "I am the eldest daughter of the Z family. May I ask that you come call upon us at the Z household at your earliest convenience?" But He Zhao declined the implied offer of a debt of gratitude. How could I exploit such an occasion? A young lady's reputation and propriety matter. Let us all treat this as if it never happened. After Sister lost 3 of her 7 souls over that, she sent her maidservant out to start the rumors that she herself had been pulled out by the top scholar, that the two had even had physical contact. He Zhao, knowing there had been onlookers in the street, who had recognized them both and were already gossiping, and mindful of preserving Sister's reputation, willingly came to formally betroth her. His own mother elevated Sister to proper wife status, and further provided a generous dowry on her behalf, so she could leave in splendor. In the time between betrothal and the wedding, Sister and He Zhao had a brief period of sweet close days, but sadly afterwards, once He Zhao saw through the gossip she had manufactured, he grew cold toward her. I never did find out what Elder Sister and Lu Junran's connection was, nor what the outcome was, what kind of outcome it was, or what feelings developed. In any case, in the last life, it was I, the one Lu Junran never willingly married, who was matched to him only after Elder Sister and He Zhao's wedding, and I was given to Lu Junran, kept in the dark from the very beginning. It was only when I was close to giving birth as a surrogate that Elder Sister came to tell me in secret, and I finally understood. Lu Junran had wanted me solely to use me as a way to gain a close family connection by title, as a convenient excuse to visit whenever he pleased. The blow this dealt me at the time was severe beyond measure. I nearly took 2 lives with me in dying. After all, in the period before that revelation, Lu Junran had played his part with absolute conviction. In 3 years of marriage, he had accompanied me with devoted attentiveness, warm beyond measure. He put on the full performance of a devoted and dutiful husband. I had loved him. I had mistakenly believed he loved me too. Back then I was still too young, could not bear that lightning bolt. I nearly let him drive me to a dead end. In utter despair, I wanted to drag both of them down to death with me. It was the Grand Princess who woke me. It was my child who held me back. Only by that did those 2 wild lovebirds, having played out years of bitter melodrama, meet their end at death's gate once more. But in this life, Lu Junran, having crossed back, moved first to seize Hejiao's place, showing up half a beat late, to pull elder sister from the water. But sister had never met him before. And add to that the fact that Lu Junran was simply a military man, plain and unremarkable, rough and imposing in manner, and dressed no better than a guard in our household. Put all of that together, and elder sister must have been terrified, afraid he would latch onto her. And with a touch of spite, she concocted a story using my name, and pinned this whole tale of improper dalliance squarely on my head. What sister hadn't anticipated was that this man was in fact one of the nation's great hidden figures. The street gossip was already circulating by today. Sister heard that someone outside had come to propose, and panicked. Having not yet had time to find out who Lu Junran really was, she sent her maidservant out to start the gossip. I let out a breath. All of this happened by accident. Leave out any single piece, and none of it would lead to where we are now. This marriage, right now it can only belong to me. I truly didn't do a single thing. This is just fate. There's nothing to be done about it. After the Grand Princess received word from her maidservant about the street gossip, she gave a cold snort and a satisfied clap. The wet nurse pinched the skin at sister's waist, and the pain jolted her awake. The Grand Princess walked a cold, measured circle around her. In all these years, no one has amused this princess quite so thoroughly. Absolutely delightful. Sister clenched her teeth, not daring to raise her face. She was nearly going out of her mind. She was grinding her teeth. I switched places with her, and my mood exploded too. The glorious days almost within reach. One by one, through her own scheming, fanning the flames with absolute cunning, she'd handed them clean away, and handed them to none other than the younger sister she'd looked down on since childhood, born of the same father and mother. Who wouldn't lose their mind? The Grand Princess gestured with her eyes, directing the guards who had been about to carry the betrothal gifts out to leave. Set them down! Then she turned, half amused, to look at Lu Junran, who wore the face of a man who'd lost all faith in the world. Right now, thanks to the blessings of your beloved, Yuhua has suffered an undeserved calamity. This betrothal, you will accept it whether you like it, or whether you don't. Yuhua is a girl of clean reputation, and that good name has now been ruined entirely by you people. If you call yourself a man, then step up and carry this responsibility. If you want to place blame, blame the girl Wanyu you're so fond of. She's a born matchmaker if ever there was one. Sister clutched at her chest. Eyes rolled back and she collapsed to the floor again, this time genuinely fainting from rage. Lu Junran paid elder sister no more attention, but instead shot me a glance of utter desolation, looking as though he'd been forced to swallow a blowfly. He trembled, face drained white, shaking as he rose to leave, as though the sky had fallen in. His mouth kept muttering, "How did it come to this? How did it come to this?" The Grand Princess took the betrothal papers Lu Junran had brought earlier, originally for sister's engagement, and handed them over. She looked them over with a sweep of her eyes, then beamed at me. "This pile is a bit too shabby. You had a fright today, too. This princess will triple the betrothal gifts on your behalf. You and I have the fortune of mother and daughter-in-law. The very first time I laid eyes on you, I was happy. I wanted to lavish you with treasures and shower you with gifts. Fortunately, even if the path was a little rocky, in the end, you and I are still brought together as family." After they withdrew, the street gossip, under the Grand Princess's arrangements, in the blink of an eye transformed into, the second daughter of the Z family had been harassed by a villain and thrown into the water, only to be rescued by a heavenly envoy of a young master. The young master, concealing the background of a high official, claimed only to be of common birth, for fear of being an unworthy match for the noble Miss C. Without ceremony, he stepped across the threshold. Bones of iron, heart of steam, a hero asked not of origins. Whether commoner or noble prince, you are the husband I have chosen. What a heaven-sent union. Surely a perfect pairing of golden boy and jade girl, a noble young lady and a peerless gentleman. Today the young master, called to formalize the betrothal, revealed his true standing, and both households rejoiced. Absolutely delightful. Simply wonderful. Mother and I went through the betrothal gifts from the Duke's household, while listening to the maidservant relay the lavish praise people on the street were heaping on me. In the blink of an eye, I had become, in everyone's mouth, a devoted and honorable girl, who would put any man to shame. I was dazed and giddy, as if I'd woken from a beautiful dream. I truly hadn't done a single thing, yet heaven always loves to play tricks. Good fortune raining down from the sky. Even happy occasions have a way of tossing people about. Elder sister slowly came around, heard the old steward's full account of the rumors, and her eyes rolled back again. She fainted clean away a second time. Mother shot her a venomous look, and had her sent back to her bedchamber. The Grand Princess had people take the street rumors about Lu Junran and me and set them to music, to be performed at the restaurant she ran. She also brought this whole matter before the Emperor himself. His Majesty was exceedingly pleased. He took up his brush and issued an imperial decree, granting on the spot the marriage between Lu Junran and me. And not only that, He also bestowed 100 taels of gold and various household gifts. This marriage was now set in stone, beyond all question. Delivered alongside the imperial decree was also the triple betrothal gift the Grand Princess had promised earlier. Her face glowing with happiness, she laughed and said, "When you were small..." I shouldn't have brought this up to you then. Last night I had a beautiful dream. I dreamt that after you and Junren's wedding night, you bore me a chubby little grandson. My little grandson was a prodigy. Calling me grandmother in the dream, one call after another, he held my hands, eyes brimming with hot tears, and said, "I've picked out your most auspicious date. Set the wedding early." After the Grand Princess left, Father came to intercept Mother and me, face etched with worry. I was the second daughter in the household. I'd certainly have to wait for elder sister to be married out before I could wed. Father said that late as it was, Wanyu was still his flesh and blood. He must find her a good match. Mother's face went cold at that. Father hastened to add that she had indeed done a foolish thing. But she'd also been punished for it, by some strange twist of fate. This remarkable match with the Duke's household had ended up bestowed on Yuhua. Mother gave several cold snorts. "As you like. But as for registering her under my name as a legitimate daughter, don't even think about it." Father sighed with pained reluctance. From among the scholars who had come to the capital for the exams, he had selected one for elder sister. Reportedly a man of exceptional character and talent, though not very wealthy. Sister wept and wailed in protest. "His family is so poor. If I marry into that house, won't I be begging for scraps?" Father was furious. This match, he had chosen with great deliberation on sister's behalf. He locked elder sister up and fixed the wedding day firmly in place. Sister threw tantrums and rolled about on the floor. And seeing that no amount of fuss would change anything, she put on a show of conceding and slipped out the door, found Lu Junran and wept before him. Lu Junran sent her back to our household and asked to see me by name. Since he now bore the title of my intended, his presence at our house was considered normal enough. When he found me, he had Xiaoxi keep watch at the pavilion entrance, then came straight to the point. "You've crossed over too, haven't you?" I gave a nod of acknowledgement. He fixed me with a mournful, unblinking stare. "What did you promise me?" I straightened my back. "It was you yourself who shouted that you wanted to wed a legitimate daughter of the Z family. I never pushed myself on you." His expression darkened. He clasped his hands behind his back, pacing back and forth. "I planned to take your sister as a concubine. That was what I had in mind all along." I replied in a perfectly flat tone. "Our household may not compare to yours, but my father is still a third-rank official. 2 sisters marrying the same man. My father can't afford to lose face like that. Unless Lu Junran were to press me with great urgency." "Unless what?" I dug a little trap for him to walk into. "Unless my elder sister is willing to fake her death and enter your household, struck from the Z family genealogy from that day forward, to serve as a concubine, and never be permitted to receive guests. Never to set a single step outside the Duke's residence." Lu Junren flew into a rage. "What a venomous hand you have. She is your own sister. How is that any different from locking her up?" I waved my hand. "That is absolutely the best option. And it is the only option. Otherwise, let her be matched with the scholar my father picked out for her. The family background may not be lavish, but I have read his policy essays. I can guarantee he'll top the imperial examinations. Give it no more than 3 to 5 years, and he will have risen to great heights. That counts as a fine husband." Lu Junran stared at me as though he'd seen a ghost, then gave me a chilling smile. "You've already arranged everything, haven't you? It was all within my calculations. Sister, in the end, chose to become Lu Junran's concubine. I never did understand how Lu Junran managed to talk father around, but this wretched matter was settled just like that. The Grand Princess wasn't entirely pleased, but ultimately couldn't prevail over her own son. She could only add more to my dowry, to keep me placated. My own mother. She was the only one who wept for me from the depths of her heart." I held Mother close. The bitterness in my heart had nowhere to go. I could hardly say it aloud. That Lu Junran made my stomach turn, and I only wanted to enjoy the wealth of the Duke's manor, without any physical contact with him. There was nothing to be done. I was done caring for him. Even one touch made me retch. Besides, my sister had stabbed me in the back twice. How could I simply stand by and watch her live a life of ease? That scholar was someone father had handpicked with the greatest care. He was certain to take first place at the examinations. When that day came and my sister became the wife of a top laureate, was I supposed to choke on my own envy? Even if my elder sister entered Lu Junran's household as a concubine, with the Grand Princess watching, there was no chance sister would ever bear a child. Even if the Grand Princess didn't move first, I would. The title of the Duke's manor could only belong to my child. The wedding day came in a blink. I drank every last drop of the red date broth I'd prepared, hoping to conceive in one go. Any night I could avoid sharing a bed, I did. The revulsion I felt toward Lu Junran was bone deep and unmasked. I didn't even bother to hide it. An ordinary occasion, an ordinary husband. Most extraordinary thoughts. Yet Lu Junran himself was not quite ordinary this time either. He hadn't touched the wine. His eyes were bright and clear, yet tangled with some inner struggle as he gazed at me. You look exceptionally beautiful today." Clearly struck, he leaned close beside me, took hold of my arm and drank from the lotus wine. He rambled on to me at length, murmuring softly, a process utterly unlike anything in my previous life. Slightly dazed from the strong wine I'd been fed, I found myself wondering, what had our wedding night been like in the last life? What wretched luck that was. So wretched that ever afterward, every time the faintest thread of that memory surfaced, I sentenced Lu Junran to death by 1,000 cuts in my mind. I'd thought I had simply forgotten. Little did I know, I had never forgotten at all, only that it was too suffocating. So I refused to recall him, drunk as mud on that night. Kicking the bridal chamber door open, staggering to where I stood, and retching over me. The wedding gown I had sewn over nearly half a year, stitch by stitch. Every thread woven through with my hopes for the husband yet to come. And at this moment, at this most tender and momentous threshold of my life, it was turned to filth. Those hopes, too, were blanketed in a layer of gray shadow, like an evil curse, foretelling that he and I could never be a harmonious pair. He had grabbed my red veil roughly and flung it carelessly onto the floor, then looked up at me through blurred, tearful eyes, clutching my hands tight, sobbing and hiccuping as he babbled out his misery and wept. I was so foolish then, and so wretched. My name and my sister's shared the same character. I assumed he was calling for me, and so voice after voice, mingled with the soft, shy tenderness of a young bride, I answered him. I'm here. I helped Lu Junran into bed. Husband, I'm right here watching over you. You must always watch over me. Eyes curved in a smile, I helped him change his clothes, wiped him clean, and answered him with a face full of warmth. Of course. You will always be by your side. When I learned the truth afterward, I nearly went mad with fury. Love had curdled into suffocation, closing in on me from every direction, trapping me inside, so airless I could not breathe. The humiliation of it truly unbearable. I am a person too. I have my pride. I have my joys and sorrows. I was mortified. I always wanted to ask Lu Junran, what wrong had I done exactly? On what grounds did your secret affair with my elder sister have to bring disaster down on an innocent person like me? Even when the Emperor executes a criminal, he lets them die understanding why. Even if I had to be caught in this, you should have made it plain to me. Had I known the full picture, I would have found an arrangement that suited everyone. You keep to your beloved. I keep my standing as the lady of the house, neither interfering with the other. But he stayed silent. He only ever said he treasured me, that he was devoted and had chosen me, that he would treat me well for the rest of his life. And with these words he deceived me, until I lost my heart to him, carried his child, and foolishly mistook him for a husband who loved me, who cherished me.
Foolishly believed that my child
would be the happiest little soul in all the world. My child Lu Yun, so bright, so well behaved, even without a father's presence. He never cried, never fussed. Instead stood before me like a little elder, and in his soft, tender voice would tell me, Mother, I'll protect you. I am your mountain. It hurt so much, it truly did. So much. How had it come to this? A child who should never have had to be this way. He should have been born into a home where his parents were devoted to each other. The sole heir to the Duke's manor, loved and powerful, happy all his life. He should have grown up as I had dreamed when I first carried him. Not like this. Grateful that I survived this ordeal, this new life me. I would never again feel anything for Lu Junran, never again grieve over him. He would not stir so much as a ripple of feeling in me. My heart held only hope for better days ahead. But when he began undoing the hooks of my red skirt, while murmuring my name in a lowered voice, the composure I had so carefully kept suddenly blazed into fury. I was incandescent. I turned on him in an instant, striking first, seizing Lu Junran by the throat, slamming him onto the chaise, and landing blow after blow across his face. The door was bolted fast. Those outside had no idea what was happening. They assumed the sounds were simply the consummation of the marriage. Lu Junran's face went crimson, trembling with pain, eyes spinning as he stared at me, eyelids twitching. What are you doing? Have you lost your mind? Another slap, crashing hard against his chest. It was only a desire-inducing drug. At first I had everything planned for when my sister came to cause a scene. Who knew the whole night would pass without a sound? I only found out the next morning. The Grand Princess had posted people to guard my sister's door from outside. The following day, Lu Junran, barely able to stand, was crooked of face and bleary of eye, covered in bruises, not a single patch of unmarked skin on his entire body. He came to me in complaint, voice mingling grievance with hidden fear. You are terrifying. Ziyu Hua, you are an absolute beast. A beast among beasts. Before he could continue, I had him bundled up, quilts, bedding and all, and dumped into my elder sister's courtyard. Every plank of the bed he'd slept in was thrown out. The Grand Princess and the Grand Duke resided in the princess's mansion. Within the Duke's manor, only I and Lu Junran, and elder sister, lived. My sister's courtyard had the Grand Princess's people watching, but where I lived, there was essentially only me. In this place, I was sovereign. Once Lu Junran had recovered from his injuries, he drifted like a ghost into my courtyard, hovering there half dead, not quite speaking, only those dark sunken eyes fixed unblinking on me. This past month, you didn't come to see me even once. I don't come to you, and you never come to find me, do you? Ziyu Hua, do you actually know that I am your husband? In the last life, you weren't like this. In the last life, you were devoted to the home. You knew when I was cold and when I was tired. You sewed my clothes and cooked my meals. I looked at him with contempt. Since we've both been reborn, I'm done performing. You disgust me. Do you know that? You're in love with my elder sister. So go to her. What are you doing here with me? He actually seemed pleased by this. You're jealous. Don't make a fuss. Wan Yu is only my concubine. You are my lawful wife. You should be magnanimous. Wife, I can't bear it any longer. I'm burning. I can't hold back. I hit him again. Lu Junran pressed a hand to his face and raged on his way out. You know no gratitude. I will never cross the threshold of your room again. You'll be crawling to me on your knees. Suits me perfectly. Lord, I truly was going out of my mind. Just when was this man going to die? Just when could I finally have the kind of life from my last lifetime? No husband to answer to, and gloriously free? I was on the verge of collapse. 5 full months went by, and Lu Junran never crossed into my courtyard once. He was waiting for me to bow my head and beg. Every day he sent someone to ask whether I knew my mistake yet. What mistake? All I knew was that I had never lived so well. Blissfully content, the Duke's manor was so lavish. The Grand Princess so powerful. The household kept a troupe of performers. Singing girls, dancing girls, storytellers, and more. The kitchen had Sichuan chefs, Yangzhou chefs, every style one could desire. Now this was living. When Lu Junran finally came to find me, driven half mad by frustration, he took one look at my rounded belly and cried out in alarm, "How have you eaten yourself to this state?" "You foolish donkey, I'm with child!" He fainted. When he came to, his expression was all tangled. His face equally so. It's Aeon, isn't it? This lifetime? Everything is going to be different. Your elder sister will be by your side, and I will never abandon you and the child again. I will be a worthy father. I'll make Aeon proud of me, I sneered. A father who failed every examination he ever sat and died still undecorated. Exactly what would give a child cause to be proud of that? Lu Junren's face turned mortifyingly red. In his flustered, cornered rage, he sputtered, "Sie Yu Hua. Do you want to know why I love your elder sister? Because when your entire family mocked me for failing the examinations, only one you dared to say, I was born into a noble house to begin with. I carry a title already. I had no need to sit for the exams. The fact that I chose to anyway meant I was a man of ambition and conviction. The last time I failed the examinations, I stood dazed by the water's edge. Wan Yu mistook me for someone about to take his life. When she grabbed me, she fell into the lake herself. She wrote letter after letter to console me, to encourage me. I regarded her as my dearest friend. She saw you as her kindred spirit. I stripped him of every pretense in one cold sentence. A married woman exchanging letters with a married man. What a deeply moving affair. He stormed out in fury. You have never once looked up to me. Marrying a wife like you? I must have exhausted 8 lifetimes of bad luck. I owe no explanation to fools. When the Grand Princess heard I was expecting, she was overjoyed and brought me to the princess's mansion to be looked after. Seeing my pregnant state, my elder sister began to grow anxious. She had no idea that the incense in her room had long since been swapped by me, and the fertility herb packets she'd sought out had been slipped to her by my own people, with careful instructions. Both husband and wife must drink it together for it to take effect. She didn't tell Lu Junren. She brewed it herself and fed it to him, claiming it was a tonic for his health. The medicine, taken once, caused no harm, but taken frequently, the liver could not process it. Every medicine has its poison. The body ceases to absorb it, and the person withers and dies from within. By the 3rd year after Aeon was born, my elder sister had grown so frail she was barely recognizable, and still she could not conceive. Her mind had grown unsteady, her temperament volatile. Most crucially, the scholar she had rejected had taken first place at the examinations, and she herself was now merely a concubine in the Lu household. Who might not live to keep even that? She began to nurse regrets and resentments, falling into constant quarrels and weeping fits with Lu Junren. Lu Junren could no longer bear it. He began coming to see Aeon at my quarters more often, but I had no welcome for him, and the child had no attachment to him. He fell into frequent blank stares, his spirits much diminished, and aged considerably. He picked up the annotated book I had been reading to Aeon, and did not, as he once had in our last life, mock me, deliberately belittling me as a mere woman, who could not possibly understand the commentary or debate matters of consequence, whose annotations were nothing but nonsense. Instead, he said plainly, "Your notes are remarkably well done. Whatever ability Aeon has going forward, it comes entirely from you. Your learning surpasses mine." An unusually human thing to say. It made me glance at him. He was still young, yet his eyes already carried the twilight of an old man, Yuhua. This time at the examinations, I failed again. The post father arranged for me. I have not managed it well. I worked hard at it, but the people are still dissatisfied. They say I'm useless. My superiors look down on me. His voice grew heavier and heavier. Why am I so worthless? I tried with everything I had. Why is it that I always fall short? When father manages, when brother manages, why is it only me who cannot? Perhaps I am simply not suited to be an official. Watching a man beaten and floundering like this, I felt a deep and satisfying pleasure. This was what came of sowing cruelty. And so he resigned. He spent his days at home with me and the child. The Grand Duke was furious enough to stamp his feet. My own head ached from it too. Before, when he was an official and out of the house all day, how peaceful that had been. I'd been perfectly at ease. Now he was home every day clinging to me, talking all manner of rubbish. I genuinely contemplated reporting him to the authorities. My ears and eyes were suffering daily. My elder sister could not leave her own courtyard, and Lu Junran had not visited her in a very long time. I waited patiently. Lu Junran did not know that a woman driven to madness, one who has lost all reason to live, all will to go on, is capable of terrible things, as I myself had been, when I had wanted to take them all down with me. But I still had my child and my mother, still had my freedom, still had wealth and comfort. My elder sister had none of that left. As a precaution, I had posted my own guards, trusted men who watched over me and Aeon, to keep watch near Lu Junran. So when my sister crept through the dog hole and slipped out, intending to approach while my child and I were unaware, and kill us, she could not get close. With nowhere else to go, she went to Lu Junran. The manner of their deaths was truly pitiable. They brought each other down together. Both died in wretched fashion. I let out a long, complete sigh of relief. The Grand Princess was devastated. Fortunately, Aeon was there to coax her, and she gradually grew calmer. Lu Junran's closest manservant had vanished. No one knew where. He only reappeared on the final day of the funeral rites. He He placed in my hands a string of red jade beads, the finest quality. The young master sent me to find these red jade beads. He said that my lady's birthday was approaching, that he owed my lady a birthday gift. He bade me be sure to find them before the guests dispersed. I sat in the morning hall cradling a Yoon tending the incense. My small child stayed close beside me. I put the red jade beads into his hands to play with. His little palms had no strength yet. The beads slipped from his fingers and tumbled into the basin of burning spirit money. I watched the flames flicker, hot but not unbearable. My heart too felt warmed through. Perfectly right, I was contentedly glad. I still had 60 or 70 good years ahead of me. My mother fretted and asked whether I was heartbroken. I shook my head. How could I possibly be heartbroken? If the man had to die, and I grieved out of pity. How would I answer to the self who had endured so much? Who had nearly died? That self had come within a breath of losing 2 lives at once. That was real heartbreak. And yet Lu Junran, who was then my husband, never grieved for me even a fraction. He even hated me, resented me, blamed me for causing my elder sister to nearly be beaten to death by his mother. He was blinded by it. Blind to the fact that I was fighting for my life and my child's at death's door. Even at the moment, the physician warned that both mother and child might not survive. He did not pause for a single step. Instead, he turned away without a backward glance and walked off with my sister in his arms, leaving behind one cold, heartless line. If he dies today, that is his fate, his misfortune, nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with Wanyu. All the tears and blood I bled that night could not drown out the pain seeping from the center of my chest. Were we not husband and wife? Was I your mortal enemy? Later, I kept the Grand Princess company into her old age. I watched Aeyun become a general who guarded the realm on every front and carried the glory of the Duke's manor forward through the generations. I used the manor's savings to open schools and academies, teaching palace women to read and write, helping ordinary families build their futures. People said I was born under a lucky star, but I knew. True fortune is never found in being imprisoned by love or in depending on another. It came from holding fast to myself and becoming my own mountain. In all the years that followed, I remained free and at ease, living out the warmth and brightness of this world on my own terms.